Hey guys, how are you all? And welcome to this fanfic. Welcome to this great fanfic of the channel. Welcome to the third season of What if Naruto fell in love with INO and TENTEN and mastered the FUINJUTSU? As always, remember that if you want more seasons of this fanfic or another fanfic in the channel, just leave a like, comment, and subscribe. So, we're gonna start.
The next day, Naruto arrived cheerfully for his training in the forest. Today was the day he would perfect his taijutsu. He woke up in good spirits and after a balanced breakfast headed to the forest. Although he was still intrigued by the strange looks his clone, now known as Nagato, was giving him. Anyway, I'm glad he got a job. That'll make it easy to live well and save money while these exams are over, thought the blonde man as he observed the brunette's strange behavior. Good afternoon, Bakana Kao-san, Sai said, which made Naruto get an angry mark on his head. It's nice to see you today. How are you? He asked with his characteristic fake smile. How am I? Naruto asked with a sick laugh. I'm in the mood to vent a lot of frustration. Okama-kun, Naruto said, making a shadow clone. Oh, I see you've chosen a nickname for me, Sai said with a fake smile. Although I wonder why Okama? I don't think I have the features of what you know as a crossdresser, he replied, confused. But if it helps our camaraderie, it's welcome, he finished, continuing with his fake smile. Oh, he will, said Naruto, taking position. Ready, Sai said, also getting into a fighting stance. Hours later, Naruto was making observations about his combat and taijutsu that his clone had witnessed, and when his consciousness returned to him, he knew that he had improved a lot since the first day he had trained with Sai and had almost wiped the floor with him. But I still have a way to go. I know I won't be able to beat Niji at this speed, much less Lee, he thought worriedly. Especially if Guy taught him that, he pondered worriedly, remembering what he had discovered a few days ago. 2 days ago at the library. So Rock Lee, he will be my next rival after I defeat Hyuga. From what I know, he doesn't have ninjutsu or genjutsu skills, but his taijutsu is monstrous, although I haven't seen it in person, only a brief demonstration against Sasuke. Naruto discussed with Shiho about his second rival in the exams. You could use the same tactic you used with Uchiha-san, Shiho suggested. I don't think so. Most likely he's prepared for that and will try to avoid it. Besides, I can only increase gravity to a certain point, and from what I've heard, that guy has an insane gravity training regimen, so it probably wouldn't be a problem for him. I reflected. No, I must find something else to use. Perhaps before we know what to use, we should find out where its limit might be and evaluate a tactic based on the worst-case scenario, the girl suggested. How far can a boy who can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu go? Naruto mused, not seeing the point of it. I think you should focus your mind on the fact that he might be able to learn from his sensei, Shiho said in a serious voice. What do you mean? Naruto asked. Shiho then sighed and took one of the books she had brought. There are very marked similarities between Rock Lee and Mato Guy, she explained. Lack of ninjutsu, lack of genjutsu. Then she took another moment and continued. But there is also another person with the same characteristics as them. Mato Dai, Mato Guy's father, she said. Mato Dai, Naruto repeated. I've never heard of him. A few months ago, I was transcribing old Genin reports and I came across a report of a failed mission by Mato Guy's team, Ebisu-san and Gunma Shiranui, he explained. They had an encounter with the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist. The 7 Swordsmen of the Mist? The same team as Zabuza Momochi? Naruto asked, intrigued. The same, only this was an earlier generation. There have been many members of this group, the girl explained. Anyway, when they found themselves cornered, they were rescued by Mato Dai, who, even as a genin at his advanced age, managed to allow the children to escape by sacrificing himself to stop the Kiri ninja, she concluded. He died saving his son and his companions, Naruto asked, shocked and feeling great respect for the man. Exactly, said the girl with the tangled hair. Except the important thing about this story is the method he used, which led to his death. What? Naruto asked, genuinely interested. Hashiman, 8 inner gates, Shiho said simply. Hashiman? Naruto repeated, confused. Shiho said nothing more and simply handed him a scroll, which Naruto read. Hashiman are specific gateways in a person's chakra circulation system that constantly limit their overall chakra flow. While these gateways weaken the ninja in battle, They also limit the body's functions, preventing premature exhaustion. By opening these gateways, the user gains the ability to surpass their own physical limits at the cost of extreme damage to their body. Within the chakra circulation system, there are specific valves that act as constant limits on the amount of chakra a person can use. The release of the 8 gates exerts tremendous pressure on these valves, eventually causing them to open. This releases the chakra restrictions, resulting in a 10-fold or greater increase in the user's power. Opening the first gate, Kaimon, the gate of opening, allows the user to eliminate the limitations imposed by the brain on the muscles, enabling them to utilize 100% of their muscle strength instead of the usual 20%. Opening subsequent gates grants further benefits, such as a surge of physical energy to increase the power of their strikes or an increase in blood flow, among others, pushing the user's strength and speed beyond human limits. Holy heavens, Naruto said, shocked and slightly scared. Is this possible? He asked. Of course it's possible. If it's written it's because it's true, said Shiho, who seemed somewhat offended. It's hard to believe, said Naruto as he read more. Omote Renge, primary lotus, is a taijutsu technique that requires opening the first chakra gate, increasing the user's normal strength 5-fold. With this power boost, the user launches their enemy into the air and performs kagebayo, dancing leaf shadow, to immobilize them, leaving them no escape. The user then spins their opponent at incredible speed, slamming them into the ground. The immense force exerted and the powerful rotation cause devastating damage. This technique is classified as a kenjutsu, force release, because it is considered a double-edged sword. After using it, the user experiences extreme exhaustion and is unable to move for an extended period. Then a memory came to Naruto's mind, specifically the battle between Lee and Sasuke. This is what Lee was planning to use against Team, he thought, impressed. Had he done so, he could have seriously injured Sasuke and we would have been eliminated from the Chunin exams. He mused, quite impressive and terrifying. Yura Renge, Hidden Lotus, is an advanced and far more destructive version of Omote Renge, requiring at least 3 of the inner gates. Once the gates are sufficiently open, the user begins by striking the target in midair, followed by a series of kicks and punches at superhuman speed before delivering a devastating blow with an arm and a foot, sending the target crashing to the ground with a violent and spectacular impact. This attack is often fatal due to the speed and power behind it. Because many doors open at once, their chakra is quickly depleted, making this technique only usable once per battle, as the user will likely be unable to withstand it afterward. Damn. Every time I read more I end up scared. Are you saying that Guy-sensei can do these techniques? Naruto asked Shiho. Indeed, he has perfected this power and is worthy of the title of the best taijutsu specialist in the village and probably in the entire ninja nation, the girl revealed. Then that's dangerous, Naruto mused, staring into space. I know perfectly well that Lee is capable of using the 8 gates, at least the first time since he can use the 8 gates, but then he focused a serious look on Shiho. I have to think that he might be able to open more of those gates. He might be a more difficult opponent than Niji. Shiho-chan, I must figure out how to counter the 8 gates, he said resolutely. Present tense. At this speed, I won't be able to counter Niji, let alone Lee, Naruto said, frustrated. But before they could continue their questioning, someone appeared in the forest with them. Both boys became wary upon sensing the newcomer, but relaxed upon seeing an ANBU woman. Uzumaki-san, I've been looking for you, said the masked ninja with purple hair. Hokage-sama requires your presence immediately outside the village, more specifically at the waterfall near the village gate. Does he want me to go see him now? Naruto asked apprehensively. Exactly, the woman said simply and disappeared. Damn it, said Naruto. Well, Okama-kun, I'm off. See you next week. I'll be spending my time in the library. Naruto said goodbye as he headed towards the exit. As you wish, Bakana Kao-san, Sai managed to say. Stupid effeminate boy, Naruto muttered angrily. Ever since the Hokage had released his seal and refused to tell the truth about his clan and family, Naruto had kept his distance from the old Hokage, and now he really didn't have much desire to meet with him. He felt that a gap had grown between them and that in some ways it was irreparable. What could he want? Naruto thought, arriving at the place the ANBU had indicated. Upon inspecting his surroundings, he spotted the Hokage and slowly approached him. "I wanted to see you, Hokage-sama," said the blond man. "Yes, Naruto-kun," the Hokage replied. It felt strange that Naruto was so formal with him and no longer called him Gigi. It showed how annoyed he still was with him. "Why is everything so difficult?" he thought, then sighed and continued. "I want you to meet someone. I think they will be of great help to you." Naruto looked around and saw a person watching some girls swimming in the river. He raised an eyebrow, indicating he didn't understand what was happening. "Do you want me to meet a pervert?" Naruto asked, confused. The Hokage simply coughed and the other man came out of his hiding place and faced the boy. He was a tall man with completely white hair. He had a forehead protector with the kanji oil. He had red stripes that started from his eyes towards his chin. His clothing was a green outfit and over it a red blanket with 2 yellow circles. Behind him he carried a large scroll. "Naruto, I present to you Jiraiya, one of the Sannin." The Hokage introduced him. "A Sannin?" Naruto asked. "Indeed, Gaki, according to this old man, you need help to prepare for your exam. Feel lucky. The great Jiraiya will take his time to help you," he said in an arrogant gesture. "I don't remember asking for help," Naruto said, looking at the Hokage. "But anyway, what do you plan to teach me?" A not very impressed Naruto asked. "Well, a little of this and a little of that," I replied. "Be more specific. I need to know if I should invest my time in you," Naruto replied. A sign of anger appeared on Jiraiya's forehead. "I don't know who you think you are, but having a Sannin focused on you is a privilege," he snapped. "Oh yes, it's wonderful. Sasuke is having a blast thanks to Orochimaru's attention. I hope you're not thinking of biting me like your nice pale companion," he said sarcastically. "You're Jiraiya began, but the Hokage interrupted him. "That's enough, Jiraiya. Naruto-kun, I ask that you take the time to learn what Jiraiya wants to teach you," the Hokage requested. "Whatever," both Naruto and Jiraiya said, looking away. "Well, I'm taking my leave," said the Hokage. "I'm leaving you in good hands, Naruto-kun." He said goodbye. "Have a good day, Hokage-sama," Naruto said formally. "Naruto-kun," said the Hokage, somewhat sadly. Naruto turned to look at him, but said nothing. "I hope you're all right," the Hokage murmured with a depressed expression and left for the village. Naruto said nothing and just turned around. The Hokage just sighed and left. "Well, that was strange," murmured the Sannin. "All right, are you ready for this training?" "Obviously. I want to use my time properly, without wasting it on nonsense," he replied sharply. "If you say so," Jiraiya replied curtly. "Look, kid, I'm not doing this with any more enthusiasm than you are. Frankly, I wouldn't waste my time with you when I could be using it for my research," the wise toad muttered, thinking of all the women in the village. For a moment, a lustful expression crossed his face, but then he composed himself and continued. "But the Hokage wants me to spend some time with you and well, despite being a silly old fool, he's the leader of the village and my sensei, and I have to listen to him. So why don't we do this the right way and put an end to this nonsense?" Jiraiya declared. "Whatever," Naruto muttered. "So what will you teach me then?" he asked again. "Well, I understand you have knowledge of the Kyuubi's chakra, right?" Jiraiya asked. "That's right," Naruto replied. "Well, we'll try to teach you how to use as much of the Kyuubi's chakra as possible. It's an inexhaustible source of energy that you can use at your disposal," he explained his training plan. "I already know how to do it," said Naruto as he made a hand seal. "Taju Kagabushin no Jutsu, multiple shadow clone jutsu." Suddenly a horde of thousands of Narutos appeared in front of Jiraiya. "I can do even better than that." Surprised, Jiraiya stared at the newly summoned clones. "Damn, this kid is a walking army. Well, this is terrible. Here's my first chance to get rid of the brat dash. Well, I see you can already take Kyuubi's chakra. Good, let's see," he thought. "Well, I'll teach you something wonderful, something few people can do. You'll be unique among your ninja friends. I'll give you a summons." "What kind of call for applications?" Naruto asked, intrigued. "I will teach you how to summon the powerful toads of Mount Myobokuzen," he said, hoping to surprise the boy. "Ah, she refused me," said Naruto, disappointed. A silence fell over the atmosphere after Naruto's statement. A mark of anger appeared on Jiraiya's head. What do you mean you refuse, kid? Don't you know the advantages of having a summon? He said angrily. Oh yes, I know them. In fact, I'm interested in them. I've done my research and I really want to get one, the blonde explained simply. But I don't want the frog summons. I know very well that after you have one summon you can't have another, and I already had my eye on one, although I still have to find it, he said thoughtfully. That's why I can't accept it, he concluded. But Gaki, toads are great. They can send messages, fight, they're huge, and the fourth Hokage was one of the users of this summoning, he said, alluding to the boy's desire to have something in common with the village hero. I mean, any kid would kill to say they share something with a great hero. Well, I'm not interested. It would be really great to have something from the fourth Hokage, Naruto said, thinking of his father. But I have plans to surpass the fourth Hokage's legacy, and toads don't fit into that plan, he concluded firmly. Well, here comes another training session. Damn Hiruzen and his insistence on keeping the kid away from Danzo. Jiraiya thought bitterly. If that's all there is to it, I don't think this will work. I think it's best if I withdraw, Naruto argued, with no desire to continue with this mockery. Wait, Jiraiya said in a serious voice. Well, arrogant kid, I'll teach you something practical, something I think you won't object to. This technique was created by the fourth Hokage himself. I'll teach you the Rasengan, if that's good enough for you, of course, he said, annoyed. Rasengan? Asked an interested Naruto. He had heard of it when he researched his father's files and saw his abilities. He planned to learn it later, but this was a good opportunity to do so. Yes, pay attention. As he began to form a sphere of chakra in his hand, Naruto could discern a lot of power in that sphere and saw the destructive power when he smashed it against a rock. Wow, that's amazing, Naruto exclaimed. What do you think, Gaki? Isn't it a good jutsu? Jiraiya said proudly. If it seems practical, then will you teach me how to do that? Asked an animated Naruto. Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not as good at teaching Gakis as you are. I plan to bring the teaching materials so you can learn, he said while scratching his head. Don't worry, just tell me the steps to do it, and I'll find a way to do it myself, he said. Well, Jiraiya said, I could get rid of him and continue with my business. It's just a matter of supervising him from time to time. He thought with an inward smile. The Rasengan is the concentration of chakra in the hand, he explained. Being a very powerful energy to manipulate, it is difficult to master within the Rasengan. Naruto, who was listening to this, was evaluating the information to process it more easily later. To achieve this, you have to gather chakra in the palm of your hand, applying pressure to store it in the form of a sphere, Jiraiya continued. After storing it in the form of a sphere, when it collides with the opponent, it dissipates, exerting a kind of really serious push, the Sannin explained. The 3 exercises to be able to master it are, he said while raising a fist in front of Naruto, rotating water inside a balloon and then popping it, and I raise a finger, rotating the air with the chakra, making a solid rubber ball explode. I raise another finger, keep the chakra inside an air-filled balloon without making it explode. I raise a third finger. After you can do those 3 steps, you can apply the Rasengan, or at least that's how I teach it, he concluded. I really doubt you can achieve it on your own in the time you have left before the finals start, but you lose nothing by trying. Don't underestimate me, Naruto growled. I'll master it before the exams start. If you say so, kid, Jiraiya said, not believing Naruto's statement. Anyway, you already have the steps. The training depends on you. Okay, that's fine. Well, I'm leaving. See you, Jiraiya Arajusen, he said as he left. Arajusen, Jiraiya repeated angrily. Disrespectful brat. As Naruto walked, he pondered the steps to perform the Rasengan. It will be a good trump card, although I still have to do something about Lee's likely Hashimen, he mused, still worried. I think I have the solution, Gaki, Kurama said. Really? Naruto asked, genuinely intrigued. How? I think it's time I told you about the jutsu I've been preparing for you, the Biju said. It's true you've been talking about a jutsu for a while now, but I wasn't ready to use it yet. Naruto recalled Kurama mentioning a jutsu back when they were in the second phase of the Chunin exams in the Forest of Death. Well, I'm absolutely certain you are now, Kurama assured. I understand you've been studying history and FUINJUTSU, right? The Biju asked. Why? Naruto asked again. Tell me, Gaki, what do you know about Mito Uzumaki and the technique known as the Byakugo no in Strength of 100 Seal? Kurama asked with a smile. Chapter 11. The Search for Uzumaki. There were many things that Sakura was, and one of them was a fearful person. She was very afraid of not making her parents proud, of not being valuable enough to the village, of not being valuable enough to her team, of not being able to win Sasuke-kun's heart, of never being able to surpass Ino, and now of never being able to regain Naruto's friendship. Sakura's life has been defined by being looked down upon in many ways, having such loving parents as Mabuki and Kazashi, and being an only child. Sakura was always overprotected and extremely spoiled. That was part of what affected her when she arrived at the academy and became easy prey for bullies. Unlike Hinata Hyuga, Sakura was not despised by her own family, but likewise, both were full of insecurities and low self-esteem, something that was a little more difficult for Sakura since she did not have the protection of a senior clan, and having a prominent forehead like the one she had aggravated the teasing of her person. From what little she remembers, it was weeks and weeks of bullying, even before entering the academy where Amy and her group had taken her as an object of amusement and personal harassment. Something that for her was hell if you ask her. Inexplicably, Amy hated her. She was too vicious with her bullying and mockery and had no qualms about completely humiliating Sakura, from teasing her forehead, throwing objects at her, or hiding her lunch to more harmful things like sticking gum in her hair, throwing her in the hallways, even cutting her hair with scissors. All this with absolute glee and without any remorse or compassion. Due to Sakura's fearful nature, she never tried to ask for help from an adult, and every time she came home she pretended that everything was fine. That's why her parents never understood what was happening to their daughter and what it would generate in her personality in the future. She remembered each day as a torment. There were times when she no longer wished to continue with the ninja life. The harassment was so intense that she came to hate herself as a person. All of this spiraled towards self-destruction and probably towards a psychiatric problem. Who knows, perhaps a serial killer was being born with each day of pain and humiliation. But all this changed when Ino Yamanaka entered the scene. Ino, being one of the most popular people due to her charisma and beauty, and having a name for being the heir of the prestigious Yamanaka clan of Konoha, was Sakura's salvation. At first, the pink-haired girl distrusted the blonde girl. So much abuse had made her believe that anyone would try to hurt her or even make fun of her. But Ino won Sakura over with her good intentions. Every time they spoke, she tried to lift the pink-haired girl's spirits and self-esteem. Having some knowledge of plants and flowers from her family's flower shop, she used analogies to encourage Sakura to bloom. With their friendship, Sakura gradually began to move forward. Thanks also to Ino's protection, Amy's bullying stopped. She felt incredibly happy and ecstatic. She was no longer bothered, and now she had a great friend. Everything was improving, and she thought the future was bright. Or so she believed, until Sasuke Uchiha appeared in her life. Sakura doesn't clearly remember how things happened, but from one day to the next she began to feel an intense attraction to Sasuke. They had never spoken, she didn't really know him, but when she laid eyes on him, she knew he was the man she wanted to love. The man she wanted to love her. The man she wanted to be her hero like all those fairy tales her mother always read to her before bed. It was very strange at first. It all happened like in a dream when she began to realize that he existed and wondered why she had never noticed him before. Little by little he began to attract her attention. All this with the help of the newly discovered inner Sakura. Her inner personality that always told her to seek to get closer to him and that it was their destiny to be together. So every time that inner voice encouraged her, her obsession with Sasuke grew day by day. Sakura felt content. She had a good life, parents who loved her. Her grades at school were improving without the bullying from Amy and her group. She had the best friend in the world, and now she had a goal in love. She knew that she could one day win Sasuke-kun's heart. Or so inner Sakura had told her so many times. So many words of encouragement from her inner version ended up convincing her that it was inevitable that one day she would become Mrs. Sakura Uchiha. But that's when everything went downhill, because she never imagined that when she happily went to tell her best friend that she had found the man of her dreams, she would discover that he was the same goal as Ino. She never thought that her first friendship would be broken by falling in love with a boy, but Sakura knew that she shouldn't give in. That's what inner Sakura told her. She had to fight tooth and nail to win Sasuke-kun, and if she had to step over Ino and lose all those beautiful moments, she had to do it because love is war. And so, on that day, the nicknames Ino Pig and Billboard Brow were born. Thus, the rivalry between Ino and Sakura began, and thus, their first and most beautiful friendship died. As time passed, her rivalry with Ino intensified, and although Sasuke seemed distant to both of them, neither gave up in their quest to win his heart, and day after day they fought tooth and nail, and all this created a great commotion in her life. But someone else had to enter into this youthful mess, and that was Naruto. Naruto had always been a boy who got into trouble. No matter the day, he was always being punished for something. Sometimes the teachers punished him for very strange things, like breathing too heavily or answering when it wasn't his turn. For Sakura, this was a mystery, as she wondered why they acted this way towards him. But her mother told her that no matter what happened, she should ignore the boy and not go near him. Sakura remembered when she met him. He approached her confidently and hugged her, as if they were old friends. This initially confused the girl, then turned to shame and anger. She pushed the boy to the ground and yelled at him, asking who he thought he was. The boy's face showed confusion and pain at this action, which confused Sakura even more. Naruto told her they were friends, and Sakura ended up convinced that this boy was crazy. She didn't remember being friends with him, and, instigated by inner Sakura, she made it clear in front of the whole class, humiliating him by saying that they had never been friends and that she had no interest in being his friend. With that, she left, leaving him lying in the courtyard. It might have sounded cruel, but he had to understand that he couldn't go around hugging people and think they were friends. As the years passed, Naruto never gave up trying to be friends with Sakura, and he even tried every day to ask her out on a date. Sakura, frustrated by the boy's persistence and afraid that it would discourage Sasuke from asking her out, began to show her displeasure by physically attacking him. But no matter how many times she hit him, yelled at him, or even humiliated him, the boy kept insisting. When Team 7 was formed, Sakura was on cloud 9. She was with Sasuke-kun and knew she had a better chance of beating Ino since she would see him almost every day. She imagined that after mission, Sasuke would realize how talented she was and invite her to train with him. She envisioned herself helping him grow stronger and together becoming the best shinobi of their generation. After years of being the best team, Sasuke would ask her out, and a couple of years later they would be getting married. Ino, who by then should have given up seeing Sakura win, would once again be her best friend, and she would be her maid of honor at her wedding. Then she would leave the shinobi life to raise her children and be the perfect housewife for the Uchiha family. These were her dreams, the dreams that fueled her inner Sakura every day, and with Sasuke on her team, it was possible. But the downside was that Naruto was also there. She knew he would be an obstacle in her mission to conquer Sasuke-kun, also that he would be a hindrance to the team, nothing more than a burden that would delay Sasuke-kun and her, and she couldn't have been more wrong. Naruto became one of the team's mainstays, alongside Sasuke, relegating her to the role of support and observer, both in Nami no Kuni and during the Chunin exams. Sakura never stood out, and she had no way of doing so. She was intelligent, she knew it, and she had perfect chakra control, but that was because it was minuscule, nothing compared to the monstrous things Naruto and Sasuke could do. Over time, she began to accept her place behind them, observing the feats of both boys. This continued until the second stage of the exam. Seeing Sasuke so vulnerable only made her want to save him, to be the one who would protect him this time, and not the other way around, but she couldn't do much. After striving and battling, she was left defenseless against the Oto Genin, and Rock Lee and Team 10 had to come to her rescue. Although it was a hard blow to her pride and morale, she knew she should be grateful since the important thing was that Sasuke was safe and sound. She was very glad that everything had turned out well, but from that moment something changed in Naruto. It was certainly very brave of him to risk his life against Orochimaru and his summoning, and for a moment he was winning, which was surprising since Sasuke hadn't been able to do much. But then Orochimaru attacked him with a certain jutsu she didn't know and knocked him out. When he woke up, he was no longer the same fool as before. No, he was a serious and hostile person towards Sasuke, and surprisingly towards her. something she had never imagined. Like when she passed to the next round, when they had barely managed to get the second scroll at a moment when Sasuke was very rude to her and again Naruto surprised her by not defending her, something he always did. And the worst thing of all was when during the preliminaries he openly told her that he considered her a hindrance and a failure. Words that hurt her like nothing Sasuke had ever said to her. After much thought, Nagato-kun's words about her behavior towards Naruto made more sense than ever, since from that day on her teammate Uzumaki began to openly hate her for her attitude towards him, and feeling hated was something Sakura could not bear. Now she found herself wandering around the village, searching for the blonde Uzumaki after days of hesitating to see him or not. Where could he be? He's supposed to be training for the finals, she wondered. But I know very well that he's doing it alone, since Kakashi-sensei is with Sasuke-kun. Could someone be helping him? Sakura thought for the first time, intrigued by how Naruto was preparing for the final rounds. Or how he'll manage to beat Niji Hyuga, she wondered. I don't know why you care about that idiot. I'm telling you it's a waste of time trying to apologize. He doesn't deserve that from us. Her inner Sakura said angrily. Please understand, I have to do this. I've been very mean to Naruto, and I don't want to ruin our team relationship. Please support me with this. Okay? I tried to calm Sakura. No. I said no. I don't want anything to do with that monster again. His inner version growled. Oh well, never mind. I'll do it anyway, the pink-haired girl said, annoyed by her inner personality's attitude and its persistent hatred towards Naruto. Now I just need to know where to find him, she wondered, thinking of a good place to look for Naruto, and then it clicked in her mind. How about the ramen stand he always visits? She said, heading towards the shopping area. When she arrived at Ichiraku Ramen, she had a faint hope of finding the boy there. Naruto spent too much time there. I understand you like eating here, but it should be unhealthy to eat ramen all the time, she told herself, thinking about all the ramen the blonde boy ate. To be honest, she hadn't seen him eat anything else. When she crossed the curtain, she was disappointed not to see her blonde companion there, but she decided to approach the cooks and ask them if they knew where they could find him. Hello. Good afternoon, Sakura greeted. Good afternoon. Welcome to Ichiraku. I am greeted from behind the bar. Would you like to order something? She asked. No thanks. I'm fine like this, Sakura replied, smiling and thinking it was a pleasant smell and sounded appetizing. But the diet, she cried. Anything to please Sasuke-kun, she thought with conviction. Hey, aren't you Sakura? The cook asked. You're Naruto-kun's teammate, right? She asked again. Yes, it's me, she replied, surprised that he knew who she was. Naruto must have told him about me, she thought. I hope it was before all this mess started and Naruto hated me, she said sadly, realizing how much she cared about other people's opinions, even Naruto's friends. But she decided she had a mission to continue. By the way, she said to the cook, have you seen Naruto? I've been looking everywhere for him. Sakura asked. No, he hasn't come today. He's been training for his exams and I haven't seen him that often, Ayam said thoughtfully, then thought about who might know where Naruto was. But maybe his girlfriend knows where he is, she replied with a smile. Girlfriend. This threw Sakura off balance. At first, she didn't say anything, processing the information. When she fully understood what she had just heard, she was more surprised than ever before in her life. His girlfriend. Naruto has a girlfriend? She exclaimed, unable to believe it. The blonde Uzumaki had a girlfriend, and the more she thought about it, a strange feeling slowly flooded her chest. Yes, the other girl exclaimed excitedly. She's that girl who saved them from the exams they were taking in such a romantic way, she said, clasping her hands together with a dreamy expression. Then she continued, I've heard she's a very beautiful and strong ninja, worthy of my Naruto-kun, Ayam said happily. The girl he saved? Does he mean Lee's classmate? Is she Naruto's girlfriend? These were the chaotic thoughts that raced through Sakura. Thank you. I have to go, she said hurriedly and left the store. She must be very hurt to find out, Ayam said sympathetically, thinking that Sakura was suffering because Naruto had forgotten her. I hope she manages to get over it, she murmured. then stopped thinking about all that young love mess and got to work in the kitchen for the next customers. Does Naruto have a girlfriend? The thought kept circling in Sakura's head. This is impossible. How can you be dating that girl Tenten? She thought, unable to explain why it affected her so much. It had never crossed her mind that her blonde teammate would have a girlfriend so soon, just days after forgetting her. She always hoped Naruto would date Hinata, remembering the devotion the Hyuga girl had for her teammate, but that would take years. She always told herself, years for Naruto to mature and all that, but now he has a new girlfriend, and not just any girl, but the strongest kunoichi of this generation, she thought gloomily. Sakura, who before the Chunin exams had boasted of being the best student in the academy, had to admit, after everything she had seen and experienced, that she was far below Tenten's abilities and possibly Hinata's as well. It's tough, but only Ino could be at my level at the bottom of the hierarchy, she said sadly. Even though she lost to Temari, she was the strongest kunoichi of the four. If she had fought any of us or the girl from Odo, maybe she would have been in the finals, she thought. It's sad, but I'm nothing compared to her. She has unwavering conviction, strength, skills, and now Naruto, she mentioned. Although from what little I saw of her, she's slightly tomboyish, Sakura thought, but the fact that she was Naruto's girlfriend put things into perspective now. Not only was Tenten better than her as a kunoichi, but she was also replacing her as the most important woman in Naruto's life, something that should make her happy since he wouldn't bother her anymore. But for some reason, knowing that and thinking about the girl made her feel sad and jealous. You should feel happy. Now that idiot won't bother you anymore. And above all, he won't interrupt your path to winning Sasuke-kun over, Inner Sakura said. Besides, I don't know what that Tenten sees in Naruto, she added venomously. That's the least of it. I have to find Naruto, and if she's his girlfriend, she probably knows where to find him. Sakura reflected and went out to look for the girl, although realistically she didn't want to find her at all. 1 hour later, finding Tenten was as difficult as finding Naruto. He thought about asking his teammates, but he didn't know where he could find Lee or his sensei, so he had come close to the Hyuga lands in case he could find Niji and ask him. Wow, this is huge, she said, surveying the land. Niji and Hinata must live in luxury, Sakura said, thinking of the Hyuga children as royalty. Go to hell, Hyuga, was the furious shout that Sakura heard when she was contemplating the great walls that surrounded the Hyuga territory. She looked towards where the shout had come from, and suddenly a door opened and the girl Tenten came out furiously from inside. Lottery! Sakura thought. Hey, can I talk to you? She shouted to stop her. What do you want? The girl growled without stopping. Someone's in a bad mood, Sakura thought with a drop of sweat as she caught up to her. Hey, calm down. I'm looking for Naruto. Do you know where I can find him? She asked as she walked beside her, which was difficult because the girl was taking annoying strides. Without understanding why, Sakura realized that mentioning Naruto had annoyed Tenten even more. I don't know where he is. She growled and walked faster, leaving Sakura speechless. Hey, wait! The pink-haired girl tried to stop her. Don't bother me, Tenten growled as she continued on her way. How rude, Sakura complained. I hope Naruto didn't make a mistake choosing such a grumpy and angry girlfriend, she grumbled, then sighed. What do I do now? She said desperately, heading back towards the shopping area. Sakura felt tired. She had spent all morning and part of the afternoon looking for Naruto but couldn't find him. Even so, her desire to fix things hadn't waned. On the contrary, it was still strong, much to Inner Sakura's displeasure. I'm telling you, it's a stupid way to waste time, complained his inner self. And I already told you that I'm not going to give up until Naruto manages to forgive me, she said resolutely. All you'll do is ruin our chance with Sasuke-kun. If he finds out you're looking for Naruto, he'll think we're against him. Or have you forgotten that it was Naruto who got Sasuke-kun out of the Chunin exams? She reminded him angrily. No, I haven't forgotten, but Sasuke-kun needs to understand that we're doing this for the team's well-being. Sakura tried to defend her purpose. Fine, she retorted. Do whatever you want, but don't come crying to me when Sasuke-kun rejects you for being friends with Naruto. Inner Sakura growled, not speaking again. Sakura just sighed and looked around. Where could he be? She said, praying to see her partner or some sign of him. But it was something different that caught her attention, or rather someone. A young man with brown hair wearing an apron who was sweeping the entrance of a business. Is that Nagato? He thought, walking towards him. And when he realized he was right, he called out, Nagato-kun! Nagato, surprised by the shout, looked towards where he was being called and had to give a fake smile when Haruno Sakura approached. Oh damn! This girl, he thought with a drop of sweat. Hello Sakura-san. How are you? The boy greeted without much enthusiasm. Hello Nagato-kun. Sakura greeted upon seeing the boy. I'm fine, thank you. And you, how are you? What are you doing here? Sakura asked, glancing at the facade of the shop. This is where I work, the chestnut-haired man explained. I had to leave the shinobi life and now I dedicate myself to supporting Yamanaka. I mean Irisa-chan in her shop, Nagato explained, remembering that Irisa didn't like him using the term Yamanaka-san very much because it made her feel old. Oh, I'm sorry you're no longer a ninja, Sakura said sincerely, but something caught her attention. Wait, Yamanaka? Something to do with Ino Yamanaka? She asked, interested in her rival. She's her aunt, a sweet woman, Nagato said, his doubts about Sakura's expression. Ino-chan isn't so bad. She's been a great friend, Nagato said, realizing Sakura doubted that someone close to Ino could be sweet. I didn't know Ino had an aunt, Sakura said thoughtfully, but she left that topic for another day. Hey, I've been doing what you advised me to do, she explained to the brunette. You know, trying to fix things with Naruto, but I haven't found him no matter how much I've looked, she said sadly. Well, I saw him a few days ago and it wasn't very nice, Nagato said, recalling the beating his original self gave him and Ino. I know he's been preparing for the finals and he's been doing it with dedication, he explained. I see, she murmured. And you don't know where I can find it now? She asked hopefully. No, she lied, knowing exactly where Naruto was at the moment, since she knew that Ino was with him, or so she told her in the morning. But you should take a break. You know he'll show up at some point. Why don't you look for your other partner and see how he is? Sasuke-kun? The girl asked, realizing she hadn't thought about her dream boy in quite some time. I honestly don't know where he is or what he's doing, Sakura mused, wondering what Sasuke was up to. He was a member of the prestigious Uchiha clan, a clan that was the best in Konoha, the elite. A clan reduced to 2 members thanks to my own brother, he growled angrily. Something I promised to avenge no matter what, he said resolutely. For Sasuke, the desire to avenge himself against Itachi was his driving force, what woke him each day and gave his life meaning. From that fateful day when he returned home to find the entire Uchiha district bathed in blood, dozens of bodies of family, friends, his own parents, all dead, all lifeless thanks to his greatest hero and the person he loved most in the world. All of that had put him in a new perspective, to live for revenge, to strengthen himself so that one day he could face Itachi and avenge his clan for what his brother had done. But now he was an annoying Uchiha. Having lost in such a ridiculous way against Naruto had annoyed him to unsuspected levels. It was true he had underestimated the dobe. He never thought that Naruto was hiding such an interesting technique as gravity seals, along with his tracking ability, and he still didn't know what else Naruto was hiding, especially now that he was training for the finals. He keeps getting stronger and he does it without anyone's help. Since Nami no Kuni, Sasuke realized that Naruto was advancing by leaps and bounds towards him. He was no longer the same loser he was at the academy. No, now he did incredible things, including defeating Orochimaru's enormous summoning, something he was not able to achieve. At this rate, that idiot is undoubtedly going to surpass me, he said angrily. Sasuke, don't lose focus, Kakashi said. The Chidori requires much more from you to be perfected and a cool head to control it, and you're very distracted right now, the Cyclops told him. At this rate, it would be easier for even Naruto to do it before you. Don't compare me to that loser, Sasuke growled. A loser who beat you and is now in the final, Kakashi reminded him. Admit it, Sasuke. Naruto is surpassing you day by day. I won't allow it, the Uchiha growled. I don't know what kind of training or skills he's hiding, but I won't allow that fool to surpass me ever again. I am an Uchiha. I am the best this village can produce. I won't let that peasant overshadow me and boast of being at my level, he said angrily. That's a very rude thing to say, Kakashi said, annoyed by his student's attitude. I don't care, the black-haired man retorted. I promise you, Naruto, that when this is over, I'll defeat you and send you back to your place, behind me as always, he thought angrily, activating his Sharingan. So they sell antiques here? Sakura asked, intrigued, as they toured the shop. Antiques and curiosities, Nagato explained. And there are some very interesting things, he said, recalling what Naruto had bought a while ago and what he had discovered while working here. And are you alone? The pink-haired girl asked when she realized she hadn't seen anyone else. Yes, Nagato said. Irisa-chan went on a spa day, he said with a drop of sweat on his head. She does look like Ino's aunt, Sakura laughed. I heard that, said a voice from the doorway of the shop. Sakura turned around and saw Ino enter, surprisingly accompanied by Kiba Inuzuka and Akamaru, as well as a girl she didn't know but who had a familiar look to Kiba. I don't know this boy, he looks about our age, Kiba asked, interested in Nagato. He smells like Naruto, he thought. He's Nagato-kun, the one I told you about recently, Ino said. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Kiba and this is Akamaru, said the boy, pointing to the dog on his head. Nagato, replied the chestnut-haired man. Nice to meet you, he added. If he is Nagato-kun, the one who faced Naruto a few days ago, Ino said happily. You fought with Naruto? Sakura said, surprised to learn that the boy next to her had fought against his classmate. Fighting is not the word I would use, Nagato said, embarrassed. So which one would you use? Sakura asked, confused. More like beaten up, Ino said. Both of them, she added, pointing at Nagato and herself. Naruto is no longer the failure he was at the academy. He has many skills and can become vicious with his attacks, she said, remembering the beating she gave them both 3 days ago when they tried to get revenge and everything had gone wrong. Ha ha ha, I would have paid to see it, Kiba laughed. So that's why he smells like Naruto. Ino also smells slightly like Naruto, he thought, still laughing, but his laughter was cut short by the girl who came with him, who pulled his ear. Hey pup, don't be rude and introduce me, the girl growled, with an angry mark on her head because of her younger brother's manners. Ow! Let go of me, Kiba complained, rubbing his ear. If you had such a problem, you should have introduced yourself, she snapped. Guys, this is my sister Hana. Nice to meet you, Nagato and Sakura said to the girl. Likewise, Hana smiled back. I've heard a lot about this Naruto, especially about his victory against the Uchiha. He didn't beat him. He cheated. Inner Sakura screamed in the pink-haired girl's mind. It was unexpected, but now it doesn't seem so surprising to me anymore, Ino said, simply to Sakura's surprise. Sakura hadn't expected this response from Ino. She thought Ino would also explode in defense of Sasuke-kun against Naruto. That's what she'd gotten from her during the preliminaries when she overheard her yelling at her blonde teammate for cheating. But now, not only was she not defending Sasuke-kun, but she had recently said that Naruto was better than them. Something must have happened to her when she met Naruto a few days ago, she thought. Whatever, Hana said. I have to go because I have a mission tomorrow and I need to prepare for it. The Inuzuka girl said goodbye. Don't be late for dinner, puppy, she added to her brother and left the store. I think you should close early today, Nagato-kun, Ino said to her friend. My aunt won't be here until tomorrow, she added. Really? Kiba asked. I was hoping to see her, he said, disappointed. What for? Ino asked, annoyed. Well, I've seen her and she looks pretty good, he said, smiling lasciviously. You're a degenerate, the two girls murmured. A few minutes later, Ino and Sakura were walking together through the streets of the shopping district towards the nearby park. Nagato and Kiba had gone off together to get to know each other better, allowing the girls to talk like they hadn't done in a long time, much to Sakura's surprise. So what have you been up to? Ino asked her former best friend. Sakura sighed. It's a state of searching for Naruto, she commented dejectedly. Ino was somewhat surprised by this response, which seemed strange to Sakura. Why? Do you want to do something to her? She asked hesitantly. Of course not, Sakura replied, looking at her annoyed. Why does she think that about me? She growled in her annoyed mind. I want to apologize to him for everything I've done to him, she said sincerely. Oh, I see, said Ino, who seemed to have understood something. Well, it'll be a very long apology, she added. You don't make me feel good. You know that, Sakura complained. Well, I didn't mean to do that, she replied, placing both hands behind her neck. I did tell you that Naruto beat me up too, right? She asked calmly. Yes, I heard. Sakura recalled Ino mentioning it. When you told Nagato-kun about it at the store, right? But why did he do it? Sakura asked, intrigued. It was because I attacked him, the blonde explained, looking ahead. I wanted to avenge Sasuke's defeat, so Nagato-kun and I planned to ambush him and kick his ass, she said simply. Just a few days before the final, Sakura complained. Hey, that wasn't right. They could have ruined her participation in the Chunin exam, she said, not believing that Ino would stoop so low or that Nagato-kun would help her with something like that. Well, I was blinded, she said without flinching. I wanted to get back at him, she declared, recalling the events. He had changed everything I believed in, and I just wanted to teach him a lesson. I wasn't worried about him not participating in the finals or ruining his chance to become a Chunin, she explained with an embarrassed expression. I think that's why he was so vicious with his offense, she complained while rubbing her stomach. You know, he's in a league far superior to us. I don't know when or how, but he surpassed us by a long shot. When I realized it, I couldn't believe it. The boy I thought was an idiot, the loser of the academy, was now a monster in battle. Then she looked at Sakura. He made me look pathetic, she finished. Yes, I know how it feels, Sakura said sadly, remembering how she had felt towards Naruto since the Nami no Kuni mission. Regarding that, Ino said, stopping in her tracks. Sakura, who hadn't noticed the blonde stop until a few seconds later, turned around and looked at her, puzzled. I've realized I've been an inadequate kunoichi. You saw what happened in the exams. All the women from Konoha were eliminated, she said, suddenly annoyed, something Sakura didn't understand. Let's face it, the bun girl was the strongest of all, and she was quickly knocked out by the girl from Suna, she said, staring intently at Sakura. We wouldn't have done any better, quite the opposite, she said, clenching her fists and looking at the ground. My encounter with Naruto has given me the opportunity to realize I've wasted my time on a silly rivalry. What do you mean? Sakura asked, shocked. I mean, I'm withdrawing from this stupid competition with you, she declared forcefully, looking Sakura in the eyes. Sasuke won't notice us now, not being so weak. Besides, he has other priorities, and I don't want to waste my efforts on a lost cause. I want to improve. I want to be the best of all. I don't want to feel inadequate again, she said as she unclenched her fists and walked past Sakura, who had remained motionless. Sasuke certainly isn't the man I expected, or at least not right now. Besides, she suddenly stopped and turned around with a smile. I think there's someone else who deserves my attention, she finished. Sakura, speechless, didn't know how to react. Is Ino giving up? She asked, shocked. The whole conversation had made her realize that Ino had changed. She no longer used the kuin suffix when referring to Sasuke, and she spoke well of Naruto. She also seemed more serious and committed. All of this was incredibly confusing Sakura, who couldn't stop thinking about the last part of her conversation with the Yamanaka girl. I'm not competing with Ino anymore? Does that mean I won? She thought frantically. But why does it feel so empty? So gray? She wondered, not understanding why she wasn't happy and gloating over having finally defeated Ino. See you later. I'm going to eat some ramen. It's strange. I've started to really like it. I managed to hear Ino say goodbye while she was still lost in her thoughts. I can't believe Ino gave up, Sakura thought. She had been in the park for a long time thinking about Ino's response and still didn't understand why. And even worse, she didn't know how to feel after the news. I should feel euphoric. I would no longer have a rival to win Sasuke-kun's heart, Sakura told herself. Maybe it's a trap, Inner Sakura added. She is waiting for you to let your guard down, and then she'll beat you. The bitch, she growled. I don't think so, Sakura said. She seemed very convinced, she added. Please, Inner Sakura scoffed. Do you remember all the nonsense Sasuke-kun and Naruto said? She asked. If I remember them, huh? Ino had a point, murmured the pink-haired girl. Sasuke-kun isn't interested in anyone right now. If I keep insisting, all I'll do is tire him out and annoy him. Sakura mused, thinking about that possibility. Of course not, she argued with her inner voice. Obviously, now is the best opportunity to be persistent. Perhaps Sasuke-kun was acting this way because he didn't want to give Ino false hope, she added. But now that he knows she's no longer interested, he'll be able to accept our love, she explained. Then Ino's plan will fail, whatever it is, and we'll laugh at her stupidity for giving us the easy way out, she concluded. Do you think so? Sakura asked, not very convinced. Of course, Inner Sakura said energetically. You must insist more from now on. Okay, I'll try, Sakura said, now convinced. That's the spirit, girl, said her inner self. I assure you that soon Sasuke-kun will reciprocate our love and all our dreams will come true, and we will enjoy the fairy tale life we've been waiting for, she said, giving the girl more hope. I suppose, Sakura murmured. I just hope that. But what she had to say died in her mouth when she saw an image that she couldn't explain why it had affected her so much. She found herself observing that at a certain distance Naruto was carrying Tenten on his back, and that they were both calmly talking about who knows what. Feeling inadequate, she decided to leave before either of them saw her, not knowing why she didn't want them to see her, or even stranger, why tears had begun to fall down her face along with a sharp pain deep in her heart.
Hey you, if you are here and want more seasons of this fanfic, let me know in the comments. So, bye bye.